two men. Burbix, he'll take it to the net. Dishes over, backhand, they score! Kupka, the short-handed goal!
Hey Husky fans, St. Cloud will hit the road once again this weekend to make up for their postponed series with Denver. Hello everyone, I'm Michaela Wrench and welcome to your Men's Husky Hockey Weekend Preview sponsored by Edina Realty. Before we jump into things, let's take a look back at what happened this past weekend. On Friday, midway through the game, Jami Kranila was able to take advantage of a power play in the second period, which provided the lone goal on the night. This is the fifth consecutive game the Huskies have scored on a power play and 33rd time this season. St. Cloud was able to keep the score much closer in Game 2. Vieti Mietin, Nick Perbix, and Micah Miller started the night off early, each with a goal in the first period. St. Cloud was able to make their way into the second period with a 3-1 lead, but it wasn't enough as the Fighting Hawks would strike back with 2 more goals, sending the game into overtime. North Dakota would notch a shootout win to gain the extra conference point. After gaining a point on the weekend, the Huskies remain in the number 5 spot in the conference. Rival on the weekend, Denver, holds on to the number 1 spot for the second consecutive week. Western Michigan slides down to number 3 after a weekend split with 4th place Minnesota Duluth. With 1 month to go in the regular season, the top 4 spots in the standings become crucial as they will gain home ice advantage for the first round of the NCHC tournament. Taking a look at the series setup, it's been nearly 2 years since Denver and St. Cloud last faced off. The Huskies were able to grab a 3-1 win in the Omaha Pod, which left the overall series record at 27-30-3 in favor of Denver. The Huskies enter this weekend looking to get back on track after their shaky trip up to North Dakota. They enter this series with a 4-1-1 record since the start of the new year and a 14-7-1 record overall. They will look to reignite their high-powered offense this weekend. With a 4.09 goals per game average, they are second in the conference only to their opponent this week in Denver. On the Pioneers side, they have had a great start to the new year, racking up a 6-game win streak, which brings their overall record to 18-5-1. Junior forward Bobby Brink has headed the Pioneer success with his conference-leading 35 points. I'm joined with Mick Hatton from the Rink Live. So Mick, Brett Larson, Sam Henches, and Nick Perbix are all off to the Olympics. How will the team adjust moving forward into this weekend series without them?
Dave Shayak is going to step in and really kind of act as the head coach here for over the next few weeks with him being gone. With that being said, but this is a group that has a real strong leadership group, so I don't think that part is going to be really in question. It's a very experienced team that they've got, so I think that helps them an awful lot. Now, the big question, I guess, is how do you replace those two guys in the lineup? Nick Perbix eats a ton of minutes for St. Cloud State. Sam Henches is another power play guy. That's where a lot of their offenses come, has been on special teams to this point this season. These are not like just small little holes that they got to fill. Do they have guys that are capable of doing it? Yes, they do. We'll see how they do, though.
St. Cloud was only able to slip 4 goals past North Dakota, being second in the conference, averaging 4.09 goals per game. How can they reignite their offense going into this weekend series?
The big thing with St. Cloud State and their offense is playing in transition and playing at a high pace. One of the things that hurt them in particular on the Friday game against North Dakota was they didn't come with the usual intensity that they do out of the gate. I mean, they've been beating teams really early on with how they played in the first period. But against Denver likes to play in transition like St. Cloud State does. So they're going to have to find a way to do 2 things. One, slow down the transition game against Denver, and then turn around and force the issue on Denver. Make them play defense. That's not what Denver wants to do. Denver wants to get down on the other end, and they want to dominate down there.
Pioneers goaltender Magnus Krona and SCSU goaltender David Rennick, 2 of the top goalies in the nation. What can we expect to see from this matchup this weekend?
Well, for David, I think his consistency has been a big part of their success all season long. With Krona, he's been much better this season, and you see that the offense has kind of followed suit with them. So I think it's a key matchup. David, being on top of his game is going to be huge. Anytime you're playing on the road against a high-powered offensive team, you need to have good goaltending, or you're going to get buried.
On the other end of the ice, the women's hockey team will take on St. Thomas in a home-and-home series this weekend. Game 1 will take place here at the Brooks Center on Saturday starting at 2 p.m. Stick around after the game as it's senior night for the women's hockey team. Then on Sunday they will travel to Mendota Heights to wrap up the season series. If you can't make it, you can catch both games on Big Ten Plus. And for the men's side, you can catch all the action on CBS Sports Network for Game 1 Friday at 8 p.m. Central Time and Game 2 Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time on NCHC.TV. For Manhattan, I'm Michaela Wrench, and this has been your Men's Husky Hockey Weekend Preview, sponsored by Edina Realty.